Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm making this amazingly comforting, delicious one tray chicken, potato, and onions. And I'm going to be serving it with some lovely gravy. This is incredible and so simple to prepare. So let's get cooking. But before that, don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell button so you get a notification every time I share a new recipe. It really is a very straightforward. It's like the easiest of things to prepare. So it's been a long day and it is really quite cold. So I thought I'll whip this up, and while I was doing that, I'll quickly make the video so I can share it with you. So I'm using 3 onions and I'm slicing them into kind of almost a centimeter thick slices. I don't want them very fine because they'll kind of almost disintegrate. So I want a little bit of bite in them. And then I have got this oven proof tray, which I'm just going to put all the onions in the tray and spread them evenly. Moving on to a couple of potatoes. I have got these all-rounder Maris Piper kind of potatoes, and I'm chopping them into an inch size big pieces. I'm not even bothering to peel it because yeah, it's the kind of simple meal I'm after. So I'm keeping the skin on the potatoes, and then once they are chopped, I'm going to put them all over the onions evenly on the tray. So once the tray is done with the onions and the potatoes, just sprinkle salt to your taste. I've used like a quarter teaspoon, and I'm using Van de Ven spice mix. I went into the cupboard, looked for a nice warming spice mix, and this is like a almost tastes like a curry powder. So if you don't have Van de Ven spice blend, then just use some curry powder. And if you don't have curry powder, then use some nice garam masala. A little bit of olive oil drizzled over that, and then give it all a good toss. Just mix it all well, and then kind of just spread it evenly on the tray. Now moving on to the chicken. I have this separate chopping board which I use only for chicken, just in case you're wondering. I'm using the same wooden board. And I got a whole chicken which I got my butcher to spatchcock it for me. I find it takes less time to cook, and then it kind of takes the spices a bit more if I get it spatchcocked. So I like doing that. And if you want, you can use just some chicken thighs or some drumsticks if you have. You know, just the time you cook in the oven will change. So if you're using just the legs or the thighs, then it will be less time, around 45 minutes. Whereas with this whole chicken, it's going to be much more. I have just made some cuts into the chicken with a knife, sprinkled a little bit of salt, and again the same Van de Ven spice mix, and a drizzle of same olive oil. So it's the same spices that are added on the onions and potatoes that I'm using here for the chicken. Just rub it all well, and I've sprinkled the same salt, spice mix, and oil on the other side as well, so everything is properly coated. I want the chicken really nicely spiced up, and making the cuts, a little bit of that spice will go into the chicken as well. Bringing the tray back, I'm just now going to place the chicken on top of the onions and potatoes, and it goes into the oven. But before that, I'm just breaking up one whole garlic clove into smaller pieces, and I'm not peeling it. I'm just going to place it all over. I've got the oven nice and hot at 200 C or 180 fan, and I am just going to put this in for around an hour to begin with. So the timer has just gone off for an hour, and I am just going to quickly check the chicken. What I want to do is basically move the chicken a little bit and get the onions and potatoes out from under the chicken. You don't have to do this, but I love a little bit of color on the potatoes and onions. Not too much, but yeah, I just want a little bit of color. So I'm just turning all the bits underneath, and just making sure that nothing is going to go dry. And also all the juices from the chicken are have been dropping on the onions and potatoes, so they are not going to taste like a normal roast potatoes or onions. They're going to have this intense chicken flavor, which is amazing. So like I said, I have just kind of tossed it all around, so everything is mixed up, and I'm going to increase the oven heat to 220 C or 200 fan, and I'm going to put this back in the oven for last 15 minutes. It's cooked, but I just want a little bit of color on top before I could serve this. Look at that chicken. And this is what I meant by adding a little bit of color, not too much. And now what I'm going to do is cover this up very loosely with the foil. I just want it to sit and rest for 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and let the chicken sit with the onions and the potatoes. Right, time's up, and in I will quickly make a ready gravy. I know, I'm sorry, but it's one of those days. I'm trying to cut corners and make a healthy, really nice meal for the family. So I'm just using some ready gravy granules, though it tastes nothing, not even close to how good the homemade gravy tastes. So yeah, just get some chicken on the plate with some onions and potatoes. There is, you can see, a lot of sauce underneath there, so don't waste that. Just drizzle some of that as well, and then finish it off with a drizzle of gravy. I know I could have added some greens to it, but sometimes you just have to take what you've got. That was a delicious meal. I cleared my plate completely, as you can see, and the whole family loved it. I hope you'll give this a go. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you back here very soon with another new recipe. Bye for now.